Hello and a very warm afternoon here in Kolkata, but we are gearing up for the India versus Australia first ODI that is being played in Mohali. I am joined by Joseph Mukherjee and Devashish Sen for the pre-match show. An exciting series on the cards, the last one before the ODI World Cup. Thoughts on the series, thoughts on the match, because the World Cup squad is not playing in this first two games, but thought on the overall atmosphere.
Yeah, I think anytime you play a team like Australia, you're always on your tender hooks because you know what they're capable of. They are also not at full strength. Right. We know. See, this is also just before the main tournament starts. Everybody's sort of finalizing their positions. That's the same for Australia. Right. They've got injuries, they've got issues. Same with India. They've rested some players. But it's also a good time for Rahul Dravid, for the Indian team, and the skipper to figure out who are the people we want to go with. Right. And because 28 is the last day, you have to give your World Cup team. 28. Sometimes I wonder why do you have to give the team before you have to give it on 28? Right. What's the point of giving it before? Right. You know, so much of talk about Harry Brook not being there and now being there, and Jason Roy missing out.
Naseem Shah also missing out.
Yeah, then just keep it for 28. Right. Just keep one day. So nobody has. I mean, can you imagine? I feel for Jason Roy, who was in the team and now is out of the team. Right. So why break somebody's heart for no rhyme or reason?
Absolutely, we'll deep into this discussion because a few players are back in contention, be it Ravichandran Ashwin or Washington Sundar. But right now, the latest coming in is that India won the toss and have opted to field first. Devashish, one of the fastest pitches in India, Mohali.
No more. Mohali is no more the fastest speed. I would say Indian Gardens is more.
Of course,
it's more faster. But the team and 11 is announced already. We have surprising to see Ruturaj Gaikwad. Okay. Opening the batting with Shubman Gill. Shreyas Iyer comes in at number 3. That's a big positive for India. Coming after injury, KL Rahul, the captain, coming in at number 4, followed by Ishan Kishan. Then Surya Kumar Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, Ravichandran Ashwin, the big inclusion ahead of Washington Sundar. So that is a lot of positive indication. So Washington Sundar followed by Shardul Thakur, Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami. So Mohammad Siraj is being rested after his incredible performance in the final of Asia Cup.
Absolutely, and Mohammad Shami, all eyes will be on him. The only game he played in that Asia Cup, he was absolutely on fire. But the talking point in this match, Joyda, will be first Shreyas Iyer, second Ravichandran Ashwin.
So for me, Shreyas Iyer, you're going to a tournament like the World Cup, which is a month and a half tournament, with the travel, with all the practice sessions, with the matches, some practice games also. I don't know if I was a selector, if I was anything to do with team management, and I have the highest regard for Shreyas Iyer, but I just don't have enough faith in whether his back is going to hold up. If this was a 2-week T20 tournament, T20 World Cup, you play 40 overs, you're done. Here you have to field 50 overs, then you have to come and back, next day you have to take a flight, and we know the travel in India is not easy. Then you got to go over there, then a practice session, then again field 50 overs, then again play. This goes on for a month and a half. So I don't have enough faith whether his back holds. If his back holds up, if there's some superior power saying that his back is going to hold up, then he makes it to the 11 for me is an automatic choice. That's how good he's been. But as far as Ashwin is concerned, I loved reading the newspaper today. Rahul Dravid says he's not on trial. Yes. I find it a test because I mean, how can you? This is respect, right? I love Rahul Dravid. He respect where it's due. Now you cannot talk about Ravichandran Ashwin and Washington Sundar in the same breath as far as Austin is concerned. And I have utmost respect for Washington Sundar. I think what he has done in T20 cricket as bowling in the power play, dart that ball in, his batting, his fielding. But for me, 50 over cricket, now the big difference between T20 cricket and 50 over cricket is in T20 cricket it's about keeping the runs down. Right. And you will get the people out.
Right.
Whereas in one-day cricket, you have to get people out.
Absolutely.
So when you speak to the great captains of anyway, you speak to Dhoni, you speak to Saurav, he says, I want my bowlers to be 10-54 instead of being 10-40. 10-40 means somebody else is going 10-70, somebody else is going 10-80, so you're looking at 360. For me, Ashwin is a wicket taker, he's in.
Absolutely agree with that, especially with ICC's regulation coming that 70 meters.
Devashish and I agree on most things.
Totally agree with you, because it's obviously, if you have to get Shreyas Iyer in, remember he has to take the burden of fielding for 50 overs and then batting, so it will take a lot of toll. And remember, we just saw in Asia Cup what happened. He could not play that Super 4 game.
Absolutely. He missed it. After one match, he went back.
And he was coming back after injury.
And back is something.
After 2 matches, he misses out. What happens if during the tournament like the World Cup, you cannot take a risk when you are even 80% fit. If you are 100% fit, then you play.
When you have a dodgy knee, you can rest it. When you have a dodgy elbow, you can rest it. When you have a dodgy back, you need it for sitting, you need it for lying down, you need it for getting around, going to the toilet. So the back is getting used all the time.
What
So
sort,
back is a
what sort
serious
of
one.
pain? What sort of pain does a player go through during a back spasm?
Unbelievable pain. I know, little out of context, VVS Lakshman changed his stance because the doctor said that you've got some very technical medical term, I won't get into it. He said, so while batting, you're supposed to be like this. Your back is supposed to be like this, tapping the bat. He was told, you cannot be in this position. You either have to be like this or you have to be like this. Now you can't bat like this, can you? Especially when you're 6 feet 1 inch tall. So what did he become? He became like this. How did he become like this? He spread his legs. So suddenly we see the back end of Lakshman's career. He's actually standing with his feet that apart. I didn't know him at all then. I was wondering why he's standing like this. Now we got to know that 281, he was not almost playing this match. He was in Hemant Badari practicing the net for 2 days. And Saurav insisted. And it was only because Andrew Lippers got him on the park, he played that game. So he had back issues, but so back is an unbelievably tricky thing, and you never get around to it. But little bit of
Yes, of course.
Sri Lanka. You spoke about Sri Lanka Asia Cup. Rice Mile gives it away. Why did you feel that in the Pakistan game, India needed to bat first after winning the toss in cloudy conditions? Why did you feel?
Only point that I was trying to make.
Just tell me.
Yes, actually making and I will stick to my opinion.
Okay.
That for a pressure game, you got to bat out the opposition.
Absolutely.
That's a positive move. You talk about Saurav Ganguly, he is the best example.
Yeah.
Most of the time, whenever he has won the toss, he has always batted first. Because that sends a positive signal to the dressing room. Obviously, you might end up.
No, I agree with you totally. Now, what happened in the final? Why did India have to? In the final, you feel chasing is better?
Devanshu is in the spotlight.
It's not often this man is a loss of words. This is one such moment.
But yes, coming back to the match, I love this banter. But coming into the match, a big test for Surya Kumar Yadav as well.
Yeah.
Rahul Dravid in the pre-match press conference gave his utmost support that he does not need to worry about the 28-27 deadline. He is in the team and he's going to get this first 2 games.
Yeah, you both have seen him from very close in Sri Lanka. See, what I feel is that he hasn't done the job in one day cricket as yet. But what he does in T20, you get that if he can do 60-70% of that, then we are okay. So when you see a capability of somebody doing well in one version, you handhold him to be able to do in the other version also. Because we don't have too many Surya Kumar Yadavs in India. There is only 1 or 2 players who can do his job. Okay? So that is the reason why he's getting a longer rope than somebody else. Why isn't Venkatesh Iyer getting the same rope? Because he doesn't have the same skill set. Because he has it, so you're giving him ample opportunities. In T20, he's like, he takes to it like fish to water. This one, he himself is saying that I struggled, I have not performed. But
Numbers are there.
yeah, but if you handhold him and help him cross the road, then once he gets his mojo, then he's off and running.
And that's why maybe he's listed at number 6, given that equation of 20 over game where you come and back for the last 15-20
I
overs.
spoke to you guys on air. I want him to bat 6 because in T20 he's a finisher.
Right.
So we don't have him 50 over finishers. Dhoni is gone, Yuvraj is gone. So who's going to bat at 6? I don't. In between he batted 3, batted 4.
Generally Hardik does.
Yeah, but I feel Hardik and him is the 2 people I would want at 6 and 7 and Jadeja.
Right.
Can you imagine those 3 together coming? If one of them get going, we are off and running. My problem with him playing at number 3 is that we've got too many people who can play number 3. We've got too many people who can play number 3, but we don't have too many people who can play 6, 7. So that's why I feel he's best utilized at number 6. That 5 or 6 is the position for him. And he enjoys that. He doesn't want 40 overs. I've seen him in Deodar Trophy, Dilip Trophy, he got out both innings bounced, hooked. So, he enjoys the last 10 overs, either the ball.
But end of the day, you don't want someone to be tried at several positions. He was tried in West Indies and he was promoted up the order. So that does not do a world of good as far as confidence is.
Especially if Shreyas Iyer breaks down in the middle of the
What
tournament.
is worrying factor for India going into the World Cup is that they don't have a settled batting.
I agree with you. No, I have a feeling from the outside, and I could be completely wrong because I'm not. You have to be in the. We've done it in Bengal. We wanted our top 6 to be able to bat anywhere in T20. So one day Shabazz is opening, next day somebody else is opening. So we want to, whether that's what they want, But I agree with you because Surya at 3, now you've got Ishan Kishan, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli. Where is he going to be at 3?
And Rohit Sharma.
Rohit Sharma is opening. Sharma. At 3 and 4, you've got 3 gun players. You've got Virat Kohli, who will always play. You've got KL Rahul, who will always play. And you've got Ishan Kishan, who will anywhere. So why play Surya at 3? He's not going to get that in the World Cup. And he's also uncomfortable there. I would understand if this was, a number 3 player who only plays 3 like Rituraj Gaikwad. He is a number 5, 6 player. He played 6 for West Zone in the Great Trophy.
Even for Mumbai.
Yeah, so why not at 3?
Interesting.
See, the only thing could be
that is what Rohit Sharma emphasized in one of his press conferences, that he wants the batters to be ready to bat at any position.
That
flexibility.
Middle order, he go down the order. So that what he tried to emphasize is to get flexibility
that
in
is
the batting order.
That is evident, but I feel that works better in T20.
Right.
Because T20, the dynamics change very quickly.
Absolutely.
50 overs is a long game.
Generally at the
It is a long game. You are sitting through some games, you know how long the game is. So you have to build the game. T20, you can build the game in 4 overs, 5 overs.
Right.
4 overs, you get 60 runs, you won the game.
Right.
4 overs, you get 3 wickets, you won the game.
Right.
But in 50 overs, it's a long grind.
Right. So let's take a look at the Australia playing 11 as well. David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, these two guys
Very boys.
opening. Joydeep Khan has a smile, Delhi boy.
Very good boys.
Yes. Steven Smith, Marcus Labuschagne, Cameron Green, Josh English, Marcus Stoinis, Matthew Short, Pat Cummins, Sean Abbott, and Adam Zampa. Looking like a good team.
And they've got 3 guys injured. It's still looking very, very strong.
They still don't have a Josh Hazelwood and Mark Mitchell Stark to come in.
And Travis said,
who has been one of
Travis
the
said, I think he runs the risk of missing out on World Cup because
the
I think, the injury. I think the hand injury. I think
it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. So he runs the risk of making it to the World Cup squad. And remember, Max Short, a lot has been spoken about him. I don't know whether he's playing.
Yes,
He's playing because he's a very, very attacking batter. Attacking batter for England. He has done well for Melbourne Renegades in the BBL. He is an off spinner, part-time off spinner. So, and Australia is a team which is flooded with all-rounders.
Apart from Adam Zampa,
everyone can bat.
Maxwell missing.
Maxwell is missing.
So
Maxwell is just joined.
Just
But missing in this 11, he's missing. How strong is the team without them?
Yes.
And also this Matthew Short. Every Aussie guy come across. Every Aussie cricketer, you all speak about him.
Right.
This is special. And I think he also hasn't turned the corner. But again, when you see somebody special, you make sure he turns the corner. Before, back in the day, 30 years back, a lot of runs you score, get in, 1 match drop, go back to Ranji Trophy again. Now
Like how the Indian team management backed Rohit Sharma.
Now they make you a player. They make you a player. Before you had to become a player and come on your own. But now they make you a player. Even if you're struggling, you've been covering cricket for a long time. Before people would get tons of runs, special players. Go 1 or 2 innings, gone for life. Again go and join the QBR, again get 1,000 runs in Ranji Trophy. Now it's different. Now you're not tested so much. Now people look after you a lot better. It's so good to see. So good to see.
Right, and apart from that, this is a big test, a big warm-up for the ICC ODI World Cup as well. Pakistan has recently just announced their squad for the ODI World Cup. We'll get to know about more about that squad from our correspondent in Pakistan, Shahid Hashmi. He will break you down the entire team. So I'll request our producer Swapnil to play that Shahid Hashmi video and see what he has to say about the team. Naseem Shah misses out. Hassan Ali comes in, so a bit of changes there. So let's see what Shahid Hashmi has to say.
So the wait is over, the chaos remains intact. Pakistan's 15-member World Cup squad has been announced by Chief Selector Inzamamul Haq. Pakistan's plans for the World Cup were severely hit by the injury to Naseem Shah, so he is replaced by Hassan Ali. There were 2 options, Zaman Khan or Hassan Ali, but in the end, Babar Azam's vote, Inzamamul Haq's vote went in favor of Hassan Ali, who's experienced, although he's not played much cricket recently because of a finger injury, but he is experienced. Remember, he was the player of the tournament when Pakistan won the Champions Trophy, but in the last 2 years, because of Naseem Shah, he lost his place in the team. So 15 for the World Cup are Fakhar Zaman, Imamul Haq and Abdullah Shafiq, the 3 openers. Babar Azam is the captain. Mohammad Rizwan, Saud Shakil, Agha Salman, Iftikhar Ahmed in the middle order. 3 spinners in Shadab Khan, Mohammad Nawaz and Usama Mir, and 4 fast bowlers, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Hassan Ali, Haris Rauf and Wasim Jr. 3 will be travelling reserves. Abrar Ahmed, the mystery spinner, Zaman Khan and Mohammad Haris, the wicketkeeper. It's a balanced squad, but Pakistan's plans for the World Cup were severely hit when Naseem Shah got injured and he was ruled out of the World Cup. But Inzamam hopes that this squad will go and perform well and win us the trophy.
So that was the Pakistan squad for you, but we can't leave it without an expert opinion, and who better than a Shoaib Malik to explain what Babar Azam and his boys will have to do in India to lift that coveted trophy. So let's hear what Shoaib Malik has to say.
A lot of people, they mix his captaincy with his batting, but I guess leadership is totally a different thing. बैटिंग में तो एज वी ऑल नो हाउ कंसिस्टेंट ही इज, और हम लोगों ने देखा है कि वो wherever he plays he scores runs for himself as well as for the team. और leadership में I still think he has to learn, because that learning process never ends. But I guess telling him that कि आप कैप्टन हो for this amount of period, सो फिर उसके लिए भी आसान हो जाएगा कि यार मैं, अच्छा ये मेरे बंच ऑफ प्लेयर्स हैं, आई नीड टू लुक आफ्टर देम और मुझे इनसे कैसे काम लेना है. बट आई गेस उसको कैप्टनसी का एक जो है एक टाइम फ्रेम देना चाहिए कि आप तब तक कैप्टन हो ताकि वो दूसरे प्लेयर्स को भी, जहाँ पे आप, मसला क्या होता है, द मिनट यू लूज अ मैच सो एवरीबडी कम्स ऑन योर हेड. तो उसमें क्या होता है दैट एनी लीडर वुड वांट टू विन ऑल द गेम्स, because the leader does not know कि वो आगे कैप्टन होगा या नहीं होगा. So I guess overall if we look at his captaincy, he's going in the right direction, और उसे और टाइम देना चाहिए, and he leads from the front. Or most importantly, leadership doesn't affect his batting. This is why he's still so consistent.
So here was the Pakistan squad. Shoaib Malik on Babar Azam and his captaincy. Naseem Shah misses out, Joyda. How big a blow that will be? Of course, Hassan Ali with all his experience comes in, but Naseem Shah was the man in form.
Yeah, that is a huge blow. But also, pace is something you can't buy. But I also hear, and I met a lot of people who've been in the PSL for the past 4-5 years. They've been telling me every team has got 5 bowlers who bowl 85 plus.
Yes.
I'm amazed.
You look at Gaman Khan, who came in.
No, they say you don't even know net bowlers bowl at 83, 84. So I'm talking to some English players, some Aussie players, some Kiwi players who play PSL last 4-5 years. And they come and tell me that net bowlers are 84, 83, and every team has got everybody. There are a couple 90 you don't even know about.
Wow.
So their rich vein of fast bowling is unbelievable. And it's been for years. We talk about now the system is better, so they're more upfront. PSL means a lot more boys can come upfront. Before you have to be in the Pakistan team or the Pakistan A team, which means what? 8 bowlers. Now there are 30 bowlers. So it is a big blow, but they will not feel it as much as we would. So if we had Bumrah go, or if we had say somebody like a Siraj go,
Or a Shami.
or a Shami go, because all these 3 bowlers are quick. And if you want to be a top bowler, you have to be 135 plus. Even Jimmy Anderson at his prime was 137, 138. You name me one world-class bowler in the history of cricket who's been 132 and unbelievable. Even Ian Botham in English conditions was 135.
Even Bhuvneshwar Kumar was 140.
Yes, he was 140. Because, I'll explain to you in a bit. So as a batter, when the ball hits the ground and I'm going to play, now if you have pace, it will go before I can move the bat. Otherwise, good batters, so 140 means gone. 132 means I'll do this, it will go. I have a chance to move the bat. I'll adjust to the pitch. That's what good batters do. I couldn't, but good batters do that. World-class batters do that. That's why you need pace.
That's why Dale Steyn is regarded as one of the...
Even Magra, we talk about Magra not being quick and all. So when we say quick, 145 plus is serious pace. Okay, 140 is quick, and 135 to 140 is the Magras, the Bothams, the Jimmy Andersons. That's also sharp. That's also sharp.
How big a blow that will be, Devashish, a quick thought on Pakistan team?
Yeah, obviously they have brought in Hassan Ali, who is a lot more experience, and they are gone for experience rather than bringing in a spinner like Abrar. So I think that is a very, very good move by Inzamamullah, who has played the game. He has played for a long time for Pakistan.
What a player.
And I think there are already been talks about the Pakistan team. Obviously, there will be talks, but then when it comes to selection, it's what to say.
Best.
Yes, there will always be the positives. But then, having said that, I think that Pakistan side, yes, Nasim Shah is in let's accept the fact that he has been their go-to bowler in recent time, apart from Shaheen Shah.
You know the amount of international that's going on, you're bound to have players that will miss.
And now fans are
Today, Team
criticizing.
South is missing. You know, you're playing really tough series 10 days before. How can you ever, not have an injury?
And you see the list of injuries: Team Saudi for New Zealand, Travis Head for Australia, Nasim Shah for Pakistan, Shreyas Iyer for India, Washington, and then Akshar Patel also missing out. So the injury list is only growing, and you see the number of matches the international teams are playing now at the moment.
Andrej Nokia for
At the
South
moment,
Africa.
Andrej Nokia and Sisanda Magala for South Africa. So the injury list is growing, and you see most of them are bowlers.
Yeah. Also, one question that comes up, Shubhayan, is that why didn't these injuries happen so much in 1983, in 1987?
Matches
Two
were-
reasons. One is the matches. The second is the game was not played with the same intensity. I had played one day cricket.
Right.
I know intensity was not even 50%.
Right.
Ball would go to right or left, or long off you would take one run, long off would slowly come. You see any of the videos in 1980s that with no
We
distance.
used to see mid-wicket showing deep mid-wicket support.
Yeah. So now with the amount of diving and the intensity of the game, and it's gone from every level, fielding, batting, bowling, running between the wicket. We used to play with rubber soles because we never used to push for two. 1.5 run was 1 run. 2.5 runs was 2 runs. Now they're making 1.5 into 2. It's gone the other way. So everybody's with spikes, everybody's diving. So the body's taking a lot of pounding.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I had laughing, Devashish is absolutely.
Devashish was in spikes 20 years back, he's still in spikes now.
We used to see the players joining that time.
Yeah.
So basically he's laughing at
The
my...
ball passes by and the fielder dives.
If you see Pakistan's chief selector back then, Inzamam used to stop it from his field.
If you could bat like him, guys,
Oh,
well, off the topic, Saurav Ganguly 1996 gets that magical 100 in Lords and then he gets it in Nottingham. But after that, so India was throwing the first half, the second half was Pakistan. I was playing club cricket there, so I was there. Pakistan comes, first day at Lords. I had a friend who gave me a ticket. Thursdays when the test matches started, I went there, spitting rain, 7 degrees, and it looked like 110 all-out day. There was, I think, Caddick and Darren Gough and Flintoff and another one, I can't remember, Salmon Jones on your throat. They were 237 for 9. He was batting 140. He did not get beaten one ball. And I was in awe of the inning. I sat in the rain, sat in the cold. Gosh, what a player.
Absolutely, yeah. A menace for the spinners later.
Good player.
Great player, cracking player. But coming into the matchup, India-Australia, of course, Ashwin will be in the limelight. His battle against Steve Smith, Marnus Labuschagne. Labuschagne has been in great form. Unfortunately, still not in that World Cup squad as of yet. But looking forward to that battle.
I actually want Ashwin to do well. I want him in the World Cup squad. Because 2 reasons. One is that, he's an off spinner.
Right.
So you could come across a team with 5 left-handers. You need an off spinner. Secondly, pressure games. Quarter-final, semi-final. Can we just, Virat's innings in that Pakistan T20 World Cup, who hit that 4 over mid-off?
Oh.
We saw what happened to Dinesh Karthik ball before. That pressure, little shimmy and hit over mid-off.
And the bite which he left before hitting that 4, any player would have tried to flick it towards the final.
Where the confidence comes from? 500 test wickets. He knows that even if he messes up, even if he 500, even if he messes up, he's got a huge career to fall back on. So these people are allowed to mess up.
Only concern for me, as far as Ashwin is concerned, that he has played only 2 one-day matches.
No, but
last 6 years.
But that's not his
And
fault.
his last World Year has been in January 2022.
But that's not his fault, really. If I had anything to do with it, I'd keep him in the mix. I'm not saying he has to play all of them. I'd keep him in the mix. I'd make sure he plays at least.
A quick question to both of you, put your selectors hat on. Akshar Patel is fully fit. You have a Ravichandran Ashwin, you have a Washington Sundar, you have a Shreyas Iyer. What do? You have only 2 spots.
I would say the Indian team management would rather go in with Akshar Patel because first, the selectors have picked a World Cup squad keeping Akshar in it. If he is fit, then you have to do justice to him. If he is fit in that World 15
You don't want a number
he got injured. He got injured and has to be left out. But if he gets fit, it straight away gets in.
I agree with this one because then you're confident to yourself. But if Ashwin gets 3 today, 3 in another, then 4 in the last game, then
yeah.
So that's the reason why I want Ashwin to play all 3 games.
What do you say to Akshar Patel while dropping in?
Same thing. Talk to Jason. No?
On that note, we'll go straight to China. What's happening there? Trisha with the volleyball report. Another win or another loss? Let's see.
Reporting from Hangzhou for Team Red.
We are bringing up that report. Very shortly. We have a volleyball match. India versus Chinese Taipei going on there. So we'll wait for that report to come in. But a quick prediction on the match. India is leading first. Of course, Mohali. Even Pat Cummins said he would have wanted to bowl first in this pitch.
And remember, Australia in last time these two sides played in Mohali, Australia chased it.
Yes. Remember
Travis said that. Yes, I was there.
I was also there.
So Travis said that knock he played. So you never know with the Australian team. Means obviously they have to score.
And in the T20, I can bring team.
Yes, absolutely. So that's
This man on my left has seen about 50,000 one-day runs.
no way.
I call it dinosaur.
He is a dinosaur.
He has done it all.
Fabulous journeys. They both are.
Nothing easy.
No, you're learning. Learning from the boss.
What a boss.
No, I'm the boss as far as the game is concerned, playing is concerned, but as far as journalism is concerned, and I know how tough it is. I know how much you have to get around to get interviews, and it's not easy. It's a very, very tough job. You'll go much earlier than the players go. You'll hang out till much later. PC, who will come, what mood.
It's for everyone.
Yeah, it is. I'm saying the profession. The profession is a tough one.
And it's getting more tougher.
With all the restrictions coming in, but that's what we live for. That's the challenge we all thrive every day. But a score prediction quickly before we enter the final segment.
Australia 280 plus.
280 plus in Mohali in front of Bumrah and Shami and other players. Jalita
330 plus.
They both have gone with a high scoring game. I'm thinking about 260 to 275, not more than that.
Last time I had said Sri Lanka will get 160, they got 50. So you know, and I've heard on the runs, but how often can any expert come and say Sri Lanka will be 50 all over? If you can, then you should be my seat. But I knew that in those conditions, with the ball swinging, with the rain, with the covers, with the moisture, you can't get beyond Siraj and Bumrah for sure. Now, Bumrah didn't get that many wickets, Siraj did. Often happens, it is somebody's day, but they were both lethal.
Absolutely. Murali Karti and Brad Haddon in their pitch report said it's a high scoring ground and it is going to be a high scoring ground. So I guess these two gentlemen here are going to be proven right. A 330, 300, 280 kind of score. But
if Australia get 50 all, none of us will get 50. We are running.
We'll again have an early.
I'm running to Mohali.
By the time you reach there, the team would have left for the other venue. But that's the fun of traveling in India, playing in India. Your pick of the player for this match, any particular player you are looking forward to?
I would look to Shreyas Iyer because he's coming back after India. He needs to make a statement.
Right.
It's big time for him.
Yeah, I agree with him, but the only problem with batting, with the dodgy back, you see now he's batting and he's standing. If he gets 80, he's batting, he's running, he's standing at the non-striker's end, he's bending to take a double run. So the bat goes through a lot more in a match than it goes in practice. And then you again go back and field for 50 overs. So, with the back injury, my experience tells me that in a 50-over tournament over a month and a half, it'll back up at some point. But yeah, I think Showman get it on. Form of his life. Yeah.
1,000 international runs already in this calendar year.
And he's a bit of a showman. I know him in 2018 when he first came. That's what I said. 2018 when he first came to KKR as an under-19 winner, and him, Mavi and Nagarkoti walked in. Under-19 plus, under-19 plus. Then he walked into bat in the nets, in first club opener, and all the KKR big guns were bullies, and he didn't defend one ball. Everybody was like, who is this kid? So he's a bit of a showman. There's a presence about him. And at home, in front of his home crowd, his parents watching, you know.
I have an interesting story. There was a PCA assistant trainer, and last time India played their T20 match against Australia, we were just standing there and having a chat after India match, and he said, "यही वो नेट था जहाँ पे शुभमन आता था बैट करने under 19 days." बोला 1000 बॉल के नीचे वो खेलता ही नहीं था. 1000 balls every day till he became a Shubman Gill in that under 19.
And I reckon the 1000 must have come to 900, not less than that, because these guys always work on their game. You know, Virat Kohli will be with the side-down fellow for at least 200 balls. You have seen him in practice, you know, because they feel the more you do the same thing, the better you get. You know, so Federer says there's a 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 rule. Something will work. If your serve is not falling or if your forehand is not working, hit 10,000 times. Same for any sport, anything in life for that matter.
Interesting thoughts. So India, Australia, winners.
Australia.
Oh, he has turned the table in the last round.
If you are to pick Australia side, then I would back India to win. India to chase the total.
Right. So Devashish is going with India. He's going with Australia. We'll be batting the mid-match.
He's going with both. Since he is the anchor, he has the advantage. He's going with both. He's sitting on the fence.
Our rain gods around. Our rain gods around in Mohali. If yes, we saw plenty.
Yeah, he's the rain specialist. You know, thankfully, he doesn't have his sunglasses on. Every day he had his sunglasses on in rain. I told him, keep the sunglasses away for heaven's sake.
For the last 3 matches, I didn't wear.
Yeah.
I didn't wear. I listened to his advice and I was
good.
The sunglasses were off and I left it there.
And Siraj will steal your sunglasses next time he sees you in one of them.
And trust me, had that match gone on for 10 more overs,
Yes.
it was a washout. It was a washout on the reserve day. It rained the entire day on the reserve day. On the possible.
So a lot of credit goes to Devashish for the win because he wanted India to win the toss and field that day.
And
If they would have batted, they would have been joint winners.
we went 1 kilometer away from the stadium. We came after going 1 kilometer, but because the match ended so quickly and thanks to Siraj. For that, otherwise we would have another shared trophy in that Asia Cup. So let's see what's happening in Asian Games in the volleyball sector. But for us, it's the end. We'll be back in the mid-match show. So let's see what Trisha Ghoshal has for us from China.
Reporting from Hangzhou for Team Red Sports. Well, the weather is a little gloomy out here in Hangzhou, but nothing gloomy about the news that I'm bringing to you guys. India has qualified for the volleyball quarterfinals, and they have just defeated Chinese Taipei to qualify for the quarterfinals. Before that, they have defeated